Hey guys, welcome to my channel Beauty by Hiuy. Today I'll be going through some of my favorite foundations as well as what I look for in these foundations and how much they cost, where you can get them from and how they're best applied. So before I start, I'll talk to you a bit about my skin type and what I look for in a foundation. So I've got combination oily skin, I've got like quite enlarged pores. If I come close to the camera you can kind of see these pores around here, which I've covered up quite well today. I basically have quite textured skin as well. I don't really have like an oily zone as such, but definitely do get oils throughout the day. So when I'm looking for the perfect foundation, I'm basically looking for something, I prefer something that's more full coverage or something that's buildable to a full coverage. I probably would say that I prefer more of a matte finish rather than a dewy finish. And definitely look for something that is long wear. So I work in a hospital. From the moment I wake up, put on my makeup to when I get in the door, can be about 10-11 hours. So I need something that lasts throughout the whole day and still looks okay towards the end. I need something that covers up my pores but doesn't block them so that you know I break out or whatever. And something that doesn't look thick and too cakey as well. Got to make sure it's work appropriate. Definitely obviously affordable, which I found some really good drugstore foundations in the last half of the year that I'll be going through. In terms of packaging, like I'm not too fussed about the packaging or the bottle type. I mean, look, most of them come either in a pump action or like a squeeze tube type. So I'll show you the different variations. All right. So I'm going through in the order of which I've discovered these types of foundations. So the first one is, I'm sure a lot of you would have heard of this before, is a Born This Way, a Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I'm in the shade Warm Beige. Now this one is like a holy grail. It's a cult favorite. It's very hard to go past this. I mean, I've probably moved on from this in terms of like my everyday foundation, but I do go back to this when like I feel like things are going wrong and nothing's working for me this week, that kind of feel. So this is where I head back to. It's a pump kind of action. There's like a huge shade range. I absolutely love Too Faced shade ranges when it comes to foundation. It's like more of a, I guess like a creamy consistency. So, oh, I put way too much on there, but I'll show you guys. So it's like a, oh, what am I doing? I always struggle with this. It's a creamy consistency. I find probably this is best applied through like with a beauty blender because it's quite creamy. It builds from a medium to full coverage foundation. Look, it's not like fantastic in photos, so I don't really reach for this if I'm like heading out and I know I'm going to be taking a lot of selfies, a lot of photos, things like that. But it is really good because I do feel like although it's a full coverage foundation, it allows my skin to breathe. It retails for about $57. It certainly lasts a really, really long time. Like one of these can last me like the entire year. That's like if I wear makeup every day. I mean, look, I had this for like, this was like the only one in my collection for like almost a year and a half. So I know this very, very well. It does have like a nice subtle glow to it even when powder is applied on top. And I think that, what did I say here? Oh yeah, like I said, it's best applied with a beauty blender. It certainly builds up. It can build up to a full coverage foundation. So look, I recommend this for like all skin types. I know people with dry and oily skin that love this. All right, number 2 is my one of my other favorites, which is the Tarte Amazon Clay full coverage foundation, which claims to have a 12-hour wear. The claims are real, my friends. The claims are real. I use the shade light medium sand or like tan neutral. It is like a very full coverage foundation. It's not even medium, it's definitely full coverage. It's a matte finish. It's best, because it's so thick, it's best applied with a brush and then to go over it with a beauty blender. If you don't like feeling like there's a lot of makeup on your skin, I mean, I'd probably give this a miss, But you know, like I said, I look for that long wear, and I love wearing this when I know I'm going to be out all day, like, you know, 7 a.m. to like 10 p.m. at night. This is what I love about it. I'll show you. It's like a tube, and tube foundations are so good. Like, it's not the prettiest of packaging, but it's awesome because you can get every last bit out of it. So I'll show you. Yeah. So again, probably put on too much, but it's very creamy. It's almost like a moisturizer. I mean, I wouldn't apply it with my fingers. Like, look how much a little goes a long way. I probably wouldn't apply with my fingers, only because like it would probably maybe shift like the primer and stuff underneath, but it's just it's so creamy. Like, I'm still rubbing it out, like super, super creamy. It doesn't dry out, like, even although it's thick, it doesn't like dry into clumps throughout the day. I will say something about the shade range. Like, it's really weird. Like, for some reason, like Tarte, I think because they have such variations in their foundations, that there's some of their shade ranges, depending on how much like moisturizer or SPF they put in it. Like, this is SPF 15. The shade ranges vary. Like, I did find with this one, I had to like test heaps, and really actually had to exchange some colors. I ended up having 2 colors as well, because, you know, just the colors were so strange, so I mixed them both together. So yeah, that's that one. All right, number 3 is this Maybelline Superstay 24-hour full coverage foundation. So this retails for about $24.95. Again, it's a cult favorite. You get it from drugstore, so this is customized as drugstore foundation. I'm in the shade 30 Sand. Most of the shades that I wear are around that kind of sand, you know, warm beige, golden beige kind of names in the more common colors. This definitely is, look, I mean, I don't wear makeup for 24 hours, but it's definitely a long wear foundation. Definitely full coverage. It is, you have to apply this with a beauty blender. Like, there's no way around it. Like, I mean, I've tried it with a brush, and because it is in between like creamy versus like that thick consistency, and the brush, it just kind of you get strokes through it. So I definitely have to use this with a beauty blender. Now, I bought this when I was a lot lighter in terms of my skin tone, so wearing this now, I don't pick it up as much because it's much it's too light, and like when I take photos, it's like flashback. It's too full coverage to wear to work. So when the times where I wear this is like, you know, when I kind of want to be a bit look a bit fancy, or like I want to try something with like my cream contours. It dries down, you know, to a matte finish, but that in between stage before it's fully dry, where it's still a bit creamy, I find it just works beautifully with cream contours. And because I'm still learning, this makes like the perfect base for it. What else should I say? I would also say that it's well, actually, did I mention the price? $24.95, but usually you can get this on sale. Like I said, it's very full coverage, so it does feel like a little bit thick on the skin, but like, you can't go wrong. It will definitely last a whole day. So yeah, I highly recommend this for people with combination oily skin who want everything to be covered up as well. All right, next one, number 4 out of 5, is my L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour matte foundation. I'm in the shade 24, which is golden beige. Now, I bought this like maybe November last year before I went to Bali, and I like kind of road tested it a couple of times for work, and it did everything that all my other foundations didn't do. I mean, it literally, I usually get transfer around the cheek area, jaw areas here, and kind of on my forehead, and this literally saved me from that. And I was so happy because I was like, I'm going to Bali, it's humid weather, I'm going to be sweaty, like, oh my god, what I'm going to wear to make sure my skin's breathable but my makeup lasts all day. This was the answer. Like, I mean, I can't like show you, but basically, like, this is half finished because I used it every single day. It's not the prettiest of packaging, but the fact that it is a squeeze tube makes it like you don't waste any product, and that's so good for any foundation or any makeup product or skincare product, because you know you want to get your money's worth. It's quite a creamy consistency, so it looks very similar to Born This Way, but it blends out. Yeah, it blends out very nicely, and it's just more affordable. Like, this is only like, how much is this? $29.95, and obviously you normally get this on sale. $29.95, and yeah, it's much more affordable than the Born This Way, which is $57. So I would say it's like a really, really, really close dupe, but probably more matte finish than Born This Way. Look, the other thing I should say, that I love mixing this with, like, you know, any kind of liquid drops, or using it with like liquid highlighting drops in the foundation, because of that creamy consistency, and it blends so well together. You know, that's when I would kind of reach for this foundation. It probably doesn't photograph as well as some other ones, but you know, I'll take it if it's gonna last all day. All right. Now, this is my final lucky last foundation that I discovered through the search for the perfect long wear foundation, that covered up, you know, all my, you know, acne breakouts with, and my pores as well, without making me feel like my skin couldn't breathe. You might be able to tell, as the year went on last year, I went a bit cheaper in the price. I think probably because, like, I bought so much makeup and skincare last year that I, you know, really needed to save some money. So here we have the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir in the shade 742. This retails for $23.95 at Priceline, and wow. This is like what the name suggests. Look, it's got SPF 20. It's basically a healthy elixir that provides like such a beautiful glow. Like, I can't even explain. Like, I am someone, like I said, that loves matte foundations. This gives a dewy finish, and it doesn't make me feel like shiny. And I wore this beginning of the day, end of the day, I looked in the mirror, and I had the same glow in the same spots, and like my oils didn't come through. So I love this foundation for basically everyday wear. It's great for dry skin, it's great for oily skin. Yeah, I absolutely love it. I have nothing bad to say about these. I mean, look, like the last two, really great finds from drugstore brands, like just absolutely amazing. I think to use this, you can use a combination of like a foundation brush like this, like a flat brush with a to like kind of swipe it on, with a beauty blender on top. The reason for that is because it is a very runny consistency compared to every other foundation, probably because of the high SPF content, but yeah, I'll show you. Yeah, it's very runny. Like, now all these other foundations underneath, they probably all look the same, but do you see that? It's like so smooth, like amazing. So like I said, it just speaks its name. I do find, like, with contouring, you have to be careful. When I used to contour, I used to go in like circular motions. Since this foundation, I've adopted this like padding motion. The reason being is because I find with the CoverGirl Healthy Elixir, if I do the circular motions, like, I think the foundation kind of shifts underneath it because it's so creamy. So definitely, if you're using it, make sure you're very careful with how hard you kind of brush around your cheeks, or when you're applying powders and things like that. So as you can see, I last year went on a mission to find the perfect foundation, and I would say that, like, I know now what works for me, what doesn't work for me. I also know that there are cheaper options out there, and I'm so glad that I get to share it with you guys on this platform. Look, if you have any questions, make sure you drop a comment below. You know, send me an inbox on Instagram. I'm always on there. I spend a lot of money shopping for the perfect foundation, but you don't have to. I can certainly point you in the right direction. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe and like this video, and yeah, come and say hi. See you later.